All right. Now we're gonna do the so for those of you who may have checked this out, there was an earlier video that I will link in the description below that had a draft segment of an event, and now we have the first game of that draft. I'm playing against Tacster here. So it's my yellow Iden versus his yellow Tarkin. And he has won the role to go first. Let's see who's gonna get the win in this first game of our draft. So this is my first round matchup. Okay, so this is a pretty solid hand. So I'll resource one of these wing guards and I'll resource a bounty hunter crew here. I have a solid start with Crafty Smuggler or the Cartel Spacer, depending on the situation, and can then move into this other stuff. Yeah, this feels like a quite playable early hand. I guess the one question is whether I would rather, do I want to keep this bounty hunter crew and resource one of my units here, one of the two drops? I think not because the Cartel Spacer and Crafty Smuggler do synergize with each other. So if I play the Smuggler first, I can use the Cartel Spacer next turn for an exhaust. Um, so we're gonna keep like this and see how it goes. Taxter has the initiative, having won our roll off. And he's going to lead us off with a Viper Probe Droid. So he gets to see my hand. I have the Cartel Spacer, the Cloud City Wingguard, Make an Opening, and the Crafty Smuggler. So I'm showing my hand here, and then I'm get I'm going to spend two resources to play the Crafty Smuggler, who is shielded. This is a great early play for me because the Crafty Smuggler is a direct counter to my opponent's Viper Probe Droid. If our units fight, he dies, and his unit will be defeated, and my unit will not. So now we're going to go to the next turn. Moment of Peace here, solid ISB age. Okay, so this is a solid hand. Um, so the question is, do I want this Cloud City Wingguard, or do I want to do some plays with these other units? I think we're gonna resource the Cloud City Wingguard. It's kind of mid, and I don't need it to clear the Viper Probe Droid, and we have some other options available. Um, no, actually, hang on. You know, maybe I think we actually resource the Cartel Spacer here. I don't, well. Yeah, I would rather play the Wingguard, given that I'm already going to be able to kill this Viper Probe. Okay, so my opponent hits the base for 3. I'll take the kill. So my opponent did get some damage on my base, but I'll be able to heal it with Iden, and I got his unit off the board. I consider that favorable for me. Nice. And then he plays a 7th Fleet Defender. I have a great counter to that with this Make an Opening. So we will go ahead and use that. So make an opening, giving -2/-2 to the defender and healing 2 damage from my base, and my opponent takes the initiative and I use Iden to heal my base for an additional 1. So we healed all the damage, and then we are now in a fairly solid spot. So this turn I probably want to do Cloud City Wingguard. This devotion doesn't feel necessary. Yeah, it's probably going to be Cloud City Wingguard this turn. And then I can either do Moment of Peace or ISB Agent as needed to get some additional damage or additional effects. My opponent plays General Veers. Veers is a very solid and annoying card. I think what I'll do is I can ISB Agent um, and show the Moment of Peace, put a damage on Veers. My opponent will likely use Tarkin's ability to buff Veers. Then I will play my Cloud City Wingguard, which Veers will have to attack into on the next turn. That has Sentinel. He can attack and kill it, but then I can trade with my ISB agent, or if he buffs himself, I can trade with the Crafty Smuggler. So I then push my Crafty Smuggler to my opponent's base, and we're going to draw on up for this next turn. Nice. Entrenched System Patrol Craft. These are some solid options. Moment of Peace for a shield doesn't seem the most relevant at present. And so this is probably the lowest impact of my cards in hand, so I'm going to resource it just in favor of the general doctrine of trying to have strong cards. One funny trick that I could use is I could actually jet a city his I could actually jet a city his Veers and then just clear him with my units. So if he attacks and kills the Cloud City Wingguard, I can then defeat him with my ISB agent. If he doesn't, I can entrench my Wingguard. So he does take this kill. So then ISB agent will trade with Veers. Veers off the board. Don't want to keep those guys away. Don't let them get too big with Tarkin. And then this turn, I'm probably going to, well, we'll see what he does. But I think deploying my System Patrol Craft is pretty reasonable. Ooh, 5 cost. Ooh, that's a scary unit. So the Steadfast Battalion 5/5 with Overwhelm. If you control a leader unit, which my opponent will soon, he'll be able to give a friendly unit +2/+2 for the phase with it. That's actually very scary. So I think that means we want to prioritize removing Tarkin sooner. Is it worth it to entrench my Crafty Smuggler against Tarkin? Iden gets to deploy next turn and I could entrench her. Um, I think what we're gonna do is yeah, so I can either entrench this, I can entrench my smuggler and then play the system patrol craft, or I can entrench the smuggler and then that's my only play. But if he plays Tarkin, I can hit him for 5, and then he's in a kind of bad spot. Um, the other option is to play the system patrol craft, then deploy Iden and entrench her. The system patrol craft gets me more bored. We're gonna go with the system patrol craft. My opponent is going to deploy Tarkin. I'm going to have Smuggler hit the base for 2. And good chance Tarkin kills my Smuggler. Good chance he hits my base. Not sure what's going to happen. Yeah, he goes for the Smuggler. Okay. So that's 2 damage to my Smuggler. And then I will take the initiative here. Draw up. So I have ATST. I have a Repair, which is solid. System Patrol Craft, Entrenched. So I could play Entrenched plus the other. I think we resource the Repair since it's low impact. This turn, my first action is going to be to deploy Iden. Normally this would be very unsafe because the Steadfast Battalion could kill her, but because Iden is shielded, I actually have the ability to get her on the board without fear of immediately being killed. So Iden takes the field. Good old Iden Versio here, 6 cost 4/4, shielded, and when an enemy unit is defeated, heal 1 damage from your base. One option that my opponent could do here is have Tarkin just attack and break Iden's shield. Um, Another option, so that's going to be base for 7, I think. Okay, so base for 7. So this is basically going smoothly with my overall game plan. So what we're going to do is entrench Iden. Iden now a 7/7. Can't attack the enemy base, but 7/7 and shielded. I can use her to remove the Steadfast Battalion in 1 hit. Hopefully my opponent won't have a control card to remove or exhaust Iden this turn. Gladiator Star Destroyer making Tarkin giving Tarkin Sentinel. Okay, so that forces Iden to use her shield defeating Tarkin. It does defeat him though, and then heals my base for 1. My opponent probably takes initiative here, which means that I'm going to get the chance to system patrol craft into the base for 3, and then play the second system patrol craft. And then I'm just marking that these are both defenders or sentinels, and then we pass, draw up. Nice, an Academy Defense Walker, really solid. And yeah, these are all really solid cards. We're not going to resource at this point because all these cards are good, and resourcing doesn't let me play an additional one. So Iden here can attack and clear out the steadfast. Iden here can attack and clear out the steadfast battalion. So probably what my opponent will do is attack with the steadfast battalion at first for 5. I think that's pretty likely. So then I can reply. Well, I could reply with a Jeddah City to debuff the Star Destroyer. I'm basically just hoping my opponent doesn't have an overwhelming barrage. That would be very negative for me. It's such a good card. Okay, so 5 damage to my base. So now I think if he had a barrage, he would have already played it. So we're going to hope that he does not. We're going to Jeddah City the Star Destroyer. So now it only has 1 power, which means that it can't defeat either of my system patrol crafts, and the 2 system patrol crafts will be able to clear it and still have 3 health remaining each, assuming my opponent doesn't do something ruinous. Second gladiator. Okay, so he plays a second gladiator and gives it shielded. So now my system patrol crafts would have to die on his more powerful gladiator. They would be able to trade for it, but I don't know that that's worth it. So what we will do now is we will have Iden. Iden will clear the steadfast battalion, taking 5 and healing my base for 1 with her passive ability. When an enemy unit is defeated, heal 1 damage from your base. There's a buff from Tarkin on that gladiator, but my plan is not to attack it anyway, so I don't really mind. And then we're going to play the Academy Defense Walker and give a buff here to Iden. So when played, give an experience token to each friendly damaged unit. So there is the Academy Defense Walker experience token there, and this is a Sentinel. And I'm a little worried about space right now. I don't think I have a great answer to what he's doing in space, but hopefully the fact that these are Sentinels will slow him down enough. So then my opponent takes the initiative. We're going to draw up. These are not amazing draws here. Crafty Smuggler might be good just to say Barrage in case he has it. I think what I really want to do this turn, though, or I'm sorry, Regional Governor for that. I think what I really want to do this turn, though, is play my ATST. The problem is that with Iden entrenched, she can't attack the base, so I'm not pushing a ton of damage to my opponent's base. I'm hoping that there's going to be some opposing ground units that I can get results with. The Sentinel here does wear off, though, which will allow my System Patrol Crafts to potentially swing into the space arena at this phase. The two Gladiators are definitely worrisome, though. I think my main concern is whether this space arena is going to prove insurmountable. Okay, so he clears one of my System Patrol Crafts. I think so. I could have this one attack and clear the other gladiator. This would also heal my base for one, but then he gets to hit my base for six. So I think I would prefer to make him hit this guy. So this is actually just going to hit the base. Ooh, strike true to clear the Academy Defense Walker. That's nasty. Really, really don't like seeing that. That's a big problem for me. I was definitely hoping that Academy Defense Walker was going to be able to push heavy damage to my opponent's base, but now it's been removed. We're going to play an ATST, but I'm really concerned about this game right now because I don't see myself having a great ability to stabilize this space arena. I don't have any really heavy space stuff. And while I do have a good presence in the ground arena, because Iden is entrenched, I can't push damage as quickly as I would like. So we're just going to take the initiative here, unfortunately. And we're going to hope that we see the other copy of Entrenched, which I can then use on one of my opponent's units. Opponent does a prepare for takeoff. Search the top 8 cards of your deck for up to 2 vehicle units, reveal them, and draw them. This is very bad for me because my opponent can get more space units and I don't have good counters available. So let's see what he gets. Okay, so Defender, that's kind of bad, and another Gladiator, that's horrible. Okay, so I'm feeling really disadvantaged in this game right now. I have to figure out well, I mean, it's gonna be up to the draws. I really need another entrenched for that heavier gladiator, but I don't think that I have the space presence or the like heavy removal to deal with all these gladiators. So it's gonna be a big problem. However, with the initiative, I can play my regional governor and name Gladiator Star Destroyer to prevent him from playing his other copy. So that's something. He gets that defender out too, though, and I don't think I'm just not winning this race thanks to Aiden being entrenched. I had to entrench Iden to clear the ground arena, but with her entrenched and unable to hit the base, I'm in a tough spot. Nice. Okay, this is a good draw. Make an opening and entrench, so I can entrench one of those gladiators. This is really like so it's not actually good, but it's one of the best draws that I could get given my bad deck situation. So what I'm gonna have to do here is I can play the regional governor and name gladiator. So if I play regional governor and name gladiator, that blocks one of his gladiators. Then I can entrench one of the other gladiators and I can make an opening to kill the defender. So what we'll do is regional governor gladiator. So this will block him from playing the one that I know he has in hand from that prepare for takeoff. He can swing in with his other gladiator. 5 damage there. Don't love it. I will entrench this gladiator, so it now can't attack my base. I've already lost the space arena at this point, so this is going to slow him down. And then make an opening will kill his defender and give me major healing. I can also hit the base with the ATST. I think I'm still not going to win this race necessarily, though. Yeah, okay. It looks like I'm not taking enough damage. No, okay, yeah, I didn't take enough damage there because of the XP on that, so I take one more damage. I'm hoping my opponent doesn't just attack me with the defender, but rather plays something else. That will give me an opportunity to clear it through its shield with that make an opening, which my opponent might not realize I have. Uh, I'm hoping he plays something that's not that good. Oof. Experience on the defender out of range of make an opening. Critically bad for me. That's a huge problem. ATST to the base for 6. Base for 4, and that's game. No options. No options at this point. GG. So we're gonna go for game 2. So in that game, ultimately, my opponent was able to get a big enough space presence that I wasn't really able to gain the I had the advantage on the ground, but my opponent had enough space that it was not really possible for me to win the race there, even though I had some of my heavy stuff. We're gonna go to game 2. I don't think I have any major sideboarding changes for this. I have the entrenched there. We'll have to see where it goes. Um, but ultimately didn't get the win in game 1. Let's see what we can do in game 2. If I have that regional governor, the card to name will of course be Gladiator. So now round 2, let's see what we can do here. Nice regional governor. So regional governor naming Gladiator is too early. It's too early. But I can play regional governor and then entrench her and stuff. So it's actually fine. It's actually fine. We'll play the governor. Entrenching a governor is actually really good. It kind of counters some of the anti-synergy with entrench elsewhere. Resource this ISB agent, I think. Resource this moment of peace. Keep these higher impact cards. So regional governor saying gladiator, then I can entrench her. The entrench on her will make it harder for my opponent to clear her and allow her to fight my opponent in the early game. Seems like a pretty solid seems like a pretty solid combination. My opponent has at least 3 Gladiator Star Destroyers. Gladiator Star Destroyer is not actually that good a card, but because I don't have great answers to it in space, it could be quite a problem. I have the ATST is kind of a similar sort of thing where it's just like a big like beatdown type unit. But in that case, my opponent got his out faster, and I didn't have great answers. So we're gonna bring out a regional governor, and we're going to say Gladiator. We're gonna just try to get those We're going to try to just get those preemptively suppressed. My opponent plays a basic tie. He'll be able to buff it with Tarkin. I take initiative. Tarkin buff for the tie. Hopefully I can make an opening to just clear that tie before any big problems happen. Didn't see it. That's okay though. So this turn is probably going to be Crafty Smuggler. Not the best play ever, but then I can do Assistant Patrolcraft on the next turn. Bounty Hunter crew getting resourced here. Um, Poke the base for 1. Boring. 3 here. Crafty Smuggler with the shield. Sharp my ground arena. Opponent with a seasoned shore trooper initiative taken. Buff for the shore trooper. Okay. So I will draw another. Okay, okay, okay. This is not terrible. So I can. What I want to do here. So the shore trooper can hit me for 3. So what I want to keep this entrenched. So what I'm probably going to do is entrenched and the cartel spacer. I think we resource the defense walker here. Okay, so what we will do is cartel spacer and exhaust the tie. My opponent might buff his shore trooper again with Tarkin, but I can entrench my governor and be in a position to clear him out. Um, oh, I could also just hit him with I could hit him with Jeddah City. Okay, so we see a cell block guard. Um, let's see. So if my okay, so yeah, we're gonna do is um yeah, we're gonna entrench. Do I want to entrench the governor or do I want to entrench the smuggler? I think we have to entrench the governor here. So entrenched governor, now a 4/7. Can attack and clear that cell block guard even if Tarkin buffs it. So probably he'll buff a different unit. So it's going to be his buff used on the shore trooper, it looks like. Governor clears the cell block guard, taking 3. So the buffed shore trooper could now attack and defeat the governor for 4 damage. No, goes for the base. Okay. Um, I am going to use Iden's ability to heal 1. Opponent takes initiative. So now we're going to have the crafty smuggler hit the seasoned shore trooper. And now he's down to 3 life. And even if we see a buff, I'll be able to clear him with the governor. And that's going to be the turn. Could be better, could be worse. Rugged Survivors, reasonable card to play here. It's really the Rugged Survivors or System Patrol Craft. I want to keep the entrenched for a potential late game counter. So we're gonna just resort. Oh, you know what I could also do? I could double entrench my governor and then kill Tarkin in 1 hit. That would be funny. Um, let's see what my opponent does here. Okay, so Tacster, 5 resources available. 3 cost, strike true. Okay, so that's a good removal card. Clears out the governor there with the strike true. Um, so now what do I want to do? I could debuff the use Jeddah City to debuff the shore trooper, but I don't actually have a kill option. Not being able to kill that shore trooper is painful. Kill the tie with the spacer. Opponent hits the base for 4. Um, I think I hit here to reduce that unit's life. I definitely need to clear that unit. It's actually a huge problem for me. Probe droid. We're going to deploy the rugged survivors. System patrol craft and entrenched in hand. My ground sentinels haven't turned up and would be really useful against that shore trooper here. So I'm feeling like I'm in a spot of trouble already in this game. Tarkin's going to deploy an attack. I'm going to use Iden's ability to heal 1. Only 1 HP on that shore trooper, but my opponent will have 6 resources next turn, which will give it +2 power and mean that it could kill the rugged survivors in 1 hit. That's actually a huge problem for me. I really hope that I draw an ISB agent or make an opening to allow me to clear that shore trooper before it attacks. Opponent takes initiative. Okay, happy to see it. Happy to see it. All right, and these are some good cards. Academy Defense Walker could be a great option here. Bosk is a good option here. We're gonna resource System Patrol Craft, I think. My opponent knows I have it, and I don't think he has that many small ships necessarily. Okay, so he takes the trade here. I am happy to see that. Oh, I'm happy to see that. I was worried that he was going to just push straight damage to base. This is much better for me, in my opinion. So what we can do now is we're gonna bring Iden onto the field. So Iden Versio, 4/4 shielded, enabling me some potential healing. 2 damage. What is he do? What is he doing? He's not sure. I guess he's not sure which attack to make, whether to attack Iden or to attack my base. Attacks Iden. Okay, so Iden loses her shield. Oh, and he buffs his probe droid. Okay, that's not terrible. So the probe droid can in theory trade with Iden, but I have a great answer, which is I'm gonna send in Bosk, ambush the probe droid. So now the probe droid's off the board, and Iden heals 1 with her passive. And then Iden is now also in position to defeat. Iden is now also in position to defeat Tarkin and heal another damage from my base. Oh, a buff for Tarkin. Okay, so Tarkin gets a +2/+2. So now he's out of range of Iden. I can't jet a city. Oh, I should have, I should have jet a city that probe droid. That would have been a better play. Oh well, that's fine. So he buffs up their. So the question now is, do I think my opponent has another play or not? If I think he does have another play, I want to go for the base. If I think he doesn't, I just want to take initiative, I think. Let's see here. Iden to base. If my opponent just takes initiative here, it's kind of bad for me, but it could be worse. And I think there's a good chance he has another card. He has three in hand and three resources. Good chance he has another card. No, he goes for the initiative. Okay, so he can have Tarkin just clear Iden. That's unfortunate for me. See, these Sentinels showing up a bit late for me. And I don't have an event to just get the free kill on Tarkin. That is awkward. Not having an event for the free kill on Tarkin from Bosk is awkward. Maybe I should have taken the initiative there. So Tarkin clears Iden. We're going to go ahead and Academy Defense Walker, powerful Sentinel, and is going to buff Bosk. And Tarkin cannot defeat that Sentinel in one hit, and it's just more threat to my opponent. We'll see what the opponent does. Hopefully he doesn't have a removal for Bosk here. It'd be very annoying if he did. Let's see what the opponent goes for. Okay, okay. So it's the Steadfast Battalion. So the overwhelm and on attack here is quite relevant. Something. I'd really like to see something that lets me just kill Tarkin with Bosk. I could take the initiative here. Again, we're in one of these situations where the question is, do I want to take the initiative or just fight? Um, oh, I have a great play here. I'll use Jeddah City to debuff the Steadfast Battalion and then clear it with Bosk while leaving Bosk alive, thanks to the experience from the Academy Defense Walker. Wow, my opponent plays Tactical Advantage, one of the worst cards in the game. Give a unit +2/+2 for this phase, but it does mean that if Bosk fights here, um, the Steadfast Battalion will trade with him instead of me just getting the kill. So I think what we actually do here is we just take the initiative to counter him, and if we can draw an event, we can do a huge blowout. No event, no event, no blowout. Okay, not what I'm wanting to see here at all. Not what I'm wanting to see. Okay, so let's think about what we can do here. So probably my best option is going to be Academy Defense Walker into the base for 5. Don't love it though. Don't love it. I could ambush some with the Syndicate lackeys, but both of them would actually trade. Oh, you know what we'll do? Actually, this isn't that bad. Academy Defense Walker will kill Tarkin. So the Academy Defense Walker takes 4. Tarkin is defeated. This means that the Steadfast Battalion's on attack ability now isn't relevant anymore, because it requires a leader to be in play. The Steadfast Battalion can still attack, clear my Academy Defense Walker, and do a lot of damage to my base with Overwhelm, but it'll be a trade. But it'll be a trade instead of just him killing me. So my Academy Defense Walker is still getting value. And I have some solid units here, to play this ATST. I can do 5 damage to the base with Bosk if Bosk doesn't get killed. I maybe should have kept that. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so base is going to take 4, but I do get the trade there. So his unit's off the board. Bosk into the base for 5. I can heal 1 with Iden's ability here because I've defeated an enemy unit this turn. First Gladiator hitting the field. We have an answer though. The entrenched is ready for it. So what we're going to do is first we'll use Iden, heal. Opponent takes initiative. ATST on the field. And we'll entrench that gladiator. And then we'll draw up. So now we're in a classic ground versus space race here. This ISB is going to remain in hand because it's not relevant here, but it could prove relevant in the future. So we're in a ground versus space race. I can kill my opponent in 2 turns if he does not. I can kill my opponent in 2 turns if he does not remove Bosk or my ATST. I'm not seeing the events that would allow the ATS that would allow Bosk to push damage, but at this point, I'm not sure that I necessarily need them. What I should be focused on right now is just trying to get the damage through before my opponent. So my opponent's resourcing here, and it is his turn. So let's see what surprises he may have to offer. I don't think he has attachment removal for the entrenched, so I'm kind of negating his gladiator with that, which is one of the reasons that I actually put those entrenched in the deck. I was really happy to see them. The question is, does he have more gladiators? Does he have other stuff that's going to be a problem? Six, that could be another gladiator. No, it's a mercenary company trading with Bosk. Okay. So mercenary company, it does also have overwhelm, so it's going to do 3 to base, which is, that does accelerate him some. My ATST can hit his base for 6. I'm going to be able to heal one of the 3 that I took using Iden's ability. My opponent buffs the Star Destroyer that is currently sitting entrenched in space, not contributing to the battle. Heal with Iden. We're going to bring out the Crafty Smuggler. And even though it isn't max value, we're actually going to bring out the Syndicate Lackeys as well. Just to get more threat on the opponent's base. And then we're going to draw up and oh nice, another ATST. So I'm seeing some heavy units that I can use to try to race faster in the ground arena and take control of the game. I currently think that I'm winning, but I don't know what removal options my opponent might have in this late game scenario to deal with my stuff. We'll have to see what happens here. Okay, so Gladiator's still entrenched. My opponent, okay, so my opponent plays a defender. I'm happy to see that because it means my opponent probably doesn't have a stronger play. So now ATST into the base for 6. My my syndicate lackeys can do some damage here. Oh yeah, okay. So he exhausts there. It has to be 4 or less. At first I thought it was bizarre that he didn't exhaust the syndicate lackeys, but it makes sense. Syndicate lackeys into the base for 5. Opponent can't do anything now, or I take the initiative and win the game basically for sure. Um, unless he somehow takes out both of my big units. Doesn't have an answer. We're gonna play a second ATST, and then we will pass and draw up. Don't think he has an answer that can kill 2 ATSTs and a Syndicate Lackeys. Nope, he types GG. So we got game 2. Let's go to game 3. So solid performance there. The deck plan worked better. I did have some definite threat early on, but having an entrenched to stop that gladiator that my opponent played allowed me to have a fairly comfortable race at the end. Interesting scenario there with my opponent having the Interesting scenario there also with my opponent having the tactical advantage to counter my Jeddah City. I don't think tactical advantage is a good card, but it came in handy there, giving those temporary stats so I don't get a great deal with my attack. Oh man, so I have to mulligan this, but so this has amazing endgame cards, but no starting cards. And because my Tarkin can really snowball if you don't have good stuff early on, I need to mulligan this in hopes to get a hand that has more things that can contest him in the early game, and I don't get it. This hand has nothing for the early game. So what we're going to do here is, okay, I have the waylay, I have the make an opening. We're going to resource the bounty hunter crew for sure. The problem is these are all important to hold him back. I think I resource the ATST even though I don't really want to. My opponent also mulligans though. Maybe he'll have a band hand too. I do have make an opening, which would be a good answer to some early units. Waylay could bounce him and remove any stat buff that he's done. So there are definitely some options that I have available, but missing my turn 1 play is rough. Cartel Spacer, yep. No answers from me. I will just take the initiative. I do have the system patrol craft that can answer it in the future. At least it's not a unit with, oh man, I don't have a turn 2 play. That is brutal. Okay, okay, let's think about this. Probably what I do is I waylay. No, wait. What I do is I pass. No, if I pass, he just hits me. No, that's fine. Let's see. Rugged Survivors is okay. This is not at all what I want to see. I have all those early units, but I'm not seeing them. I guess my weak mid game is hurting me here. The system patrol crafts could be important. The rugged survivors could be important. I think I have to resource one of these though. Okay, so I think I do pass. Very sad. Take two. I don't want to use a waylay on this. Pass. Hopefully he plays a defender and I can make an opening, kill it, heal the damage that I just took from the cartel spacer. Or hopefully he pass. Hopefully, I mean, I don't even know. Hopefully he doesn't have something too good. Is basically where I'm at. Okay, he does a prepare for takeoff, searching for those two vehicles. That's a really unfortunate play for me. Maybe well played by my opponent. Maybe he just didn't have the cards in hand to do anything better. I guess we do we repair the base? I think we maybe just repair the base here. Man, this is so weird. No, it doesn't make sense to do. Oh wow, two gladiators. Okay, that is a very scary draw. I'm hoping to see that governor. The gladiators are a huge problem for me, and he just pulled two of them with this prepare for takeoff. This is a horrible start to this game. It's not unrecoverable, but I definitely feel at a major disadvantage right now. The gladiators are kind of his win condition, and I know he has two of them. I don't have my end game. I'm mired here without much of anything to do. I'm just going to take the initiative. I can at least play the system patrol craft before my opponent. Another make an opening, that's good. The syndicate lackeys are good. I have a waylay which can bounce a gladiator later in the game. I'm gonna do I resource the rugged survivor? I think I resource the rugged survivors. Okay, so this turn at least is relatively straightforward. My play is going to be system patrol craft, get something in game to prevent that cartel spacer from doing more damage to my base. If he attacks into me and dies, I can then use Iden's ability to heal. Three resources for a defender. I have a perfect counter to that defender with the make an opening that I have in hand still. I'm going to go ahead and take the initiative. Oh, but he's going to buff his defenders. Now I don't have a perfect counter. Rip. Oh, but you know what I can do? I can waylay his defender. Okay, so we're going to draw two. Um, so what do I do? Waylay defender and play crafty smuggler? Waylay defender and play crafty smuggler. Yeah, that's probably where I'm. Wow, but I need that waylay for the gladiators though. It's a big problem here. I don't. Oh, I can Jeddah City his defender. Yeah, I'll Jeddah City his defender. That's what I'll do. Okay, Jeddah City on the defender. So no ability to do damage this turn, zero attack. So then I can use my System Patrol Craft to freely remove the defender's shield, and then if the defender hits the System Patrol Craft, it trades. Okay, my opponent brings out a Cell Block Guard. What we're gonna do is System Patrol Craft, clear the defender's shield. My opponent can still deploy Tarkin this turn. If my opponent, yeah, my opponent plays Tarkin. I'm gonna go with the Syndicate lackeys ambushing the Cell Block Guard. Gets the Cell Block Guard off the field. Syndicate lackeys take three. Syndicate lackey's still alive. If he uses Thrawn to kill the lackey, or if he uses Tarkin to kill the lackey, I sometimes get Tarkin and Thrawn confused. Nice. So now he's set himself up for me to remove him with the make an opening to clear Tarkin on the next turn. He still has his space units here. I'm gonna use Iden to heal one damage from my base. My opponent plays Piet. That is so scary. He's giving those gladiators ambush. I do not have an answer to that. It's going to be initiative taken for me. Piet is a giant problem here. I think I have to Bounty Hunter Crew to kill Piet. I don't have any events in the discard yet, though. Oh, this is rough. Okay, so yeah, I have to do this. Bounty Hunter Crew, ambush and defeat Piet. By doing this, I prevent my opponent from ambushing me with that gladiator. Okay, my opponent takes out the system patrol craft with his card there. I will deploy Iden. I do miss one heal from doing this, but I should have just healed. Oh well, that's okay. That's okay. It'll allow me to have a clear initiative position for the next turn. Tarkin two to my base, two there. Iden kills Tarkin, heals my base for one. My opponent probably plays a gladiator here. So what I'm gonna do is on my turn I can make an opening. Yeah, so he plays a gladiator. That's what I expect. I'm gonna take initiative. So on my turn I can play make an opening, kill his defender, and deal heal two from that and one from Iden, and that gets a lot of potential damage off the board. ISB agent could prove relevant. Cartel spacer could prove relevant. Crafty Smuggler, probably my lowest impact card here. I have the Waylay, so we're gonna do make an opening, kill the Seventh Fleet Defender. So that's gonna heal three, two normally and one from Iden. He still has a Gladiator, so Gladiator swings in for five. I can do. I need to use two resources on a Waylay against his base or against his Gladiator. So base for four. He hits me for two. Base for four. I'm in a race that I think is a losing race, but we're gonna see what we can do. Yeah, second gladiator, exactly what I expected. Um, Waylay, bounce a gladiator. He can use Tarkin's ability to buff here, but it will give me the initiative. Um, I will take the initiative. I don't know that I'm going to draw anything relevant, but at the very least. Oh, nice entrench. That is what I love to see here. I'll entrench that gladiator. Oh, what a draw. What a draw. I can entrench that gladiator and play an Academy Defense Walker. So we will entrench his gladiator, and now he's stuck there in the space arena that he is in control of, but will not be able to do damage to my base with that. His cartel spacer does do two damage to my base. Can't really avoid that. I guess I could do make an opening plus ISB to kill his cartel spacer. We'll do Academy Defense Walker. That's going to be a sentinel, and it will buff my bounty hunter crew. Give an experience token to each friendly damaged unit. He'll probably replay his other gladiator here. Yep, that's right. I will bounty hunter crew to the base for five. Iden can hit base for four. It's a space versus ground race. I think I have the edge right now, but we'll see. So he buffs there. Iden hits his base for four. He takes the initiative. These cartel spacers could be used to exhaust his other cartel spacer. Let's see what we got here. Boss. Okay, I have three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So I could do that. All right, we'll see what happens here. I resourced a cartel spacer. I have lethal damage on board though. Hopefully I can just push that through. If he doesn't have some kind of heavy removal for these relatively large units, I can just push damage through and win the game. This is an intense battle. Okay, my opponent plays it is a seasoned shore trooper. I am not gonna. So he could potentially play another gladiator and make that seasoned shore trooper, which is strength 4, into a sentinel. In which case, my academy defense walker would be the unit that I would need to remove him. So what we're going to do is we're gonna just start pushing damage. That's base. That'll be 5 damage. And if he does give it sentinel, then I can clear it with the acad. Or no, I could clear it with Bosk. Actually, that would be the best play anyway. Okay, so if he does give it sentinel, I still have a fairly solid answer. I think that if he doesn't have anything to clear my Academy Defense Walker or Iden, I can just swing those 2 units into the base and win. Experience for the Shore Trooper. Academy Defense Walker into base for 5. If he can't stop Iden, this is it. Cell block guard. Okay, so that will stop Iden, but I have an answer. We're going to bring in Bosk and have him ambush and defeat the cell block guard, taking 3 damage, healing my base for 1. And I don't think he has another answer, so Iden will be able. So he just swings in 6 to base, and then Iden takes out the base for the win. We did it, guys. That was an intense best of 3, but we did end up getting the win. So solid situation. Solid situation. The entrenched that I had, I was really worried at the start of this game, but having the entrench to get that those gladiators locked down and unable to hit me proved to be critical. Okay. We won match 1. Let's see what happens in the other rounds of this draft. I'm gonna shut down this video for now, but stay tuned for more from this draft gameplay. Thanks to you all for watching, and we'll be back later with some more Star Wars Unlimited content. I will catch you guys later.